What is up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with the farewell Q&A for our boy Rex to see. Rex, what's going on, man?
Hey Jake, not much. Just got back from like a really amazing weekend. How about yourself?
Having a good weekend, enjoying the war with Emphatic Elite right now. That's going on tonight, so having a good time, man. I'm glad you decided to do this because you've been a huge part of my Clash career and taught me a lot of things. And I think a lot of people out there indirectly at least feel that way because you've been a teacher to a lot of people in OneHive and then through the videos we put out to a huge section of the war community. So really appreciate you doing it. It's sad to see you go, but at least we get to visit with you one more time.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's never been a way for me to thank and show my appreciation to the fan base and to everyone who's just given me credit for a lot more than I'm capable of. I mean, I don't think I deserve this credit whatsoever, but it's very inspirational. It's very motivating, and I thank each and every one of you.
Well, man, I've got, as you know, I put out a video asking for some questions and got a ton of response, a lot of questions to you. So we can go through those. You can, sort of say a few things first if you want to, or we can just get right to the questions, however you want to do it, buddy.
Let's go ahead and start off with the questions.
All right, man. The first one comes from Alexander Adams. It says, Rex, what got you into Clash initially? Did you just stumble upon it in the App Store? Were you told about the game? Just curious. Just how did you start playing Clash, man?
That's a good question. I did just stumble upon it, like on the Play Store. I was playing Dota 2 pretty competitively, and af after I really, it. I'm gonna get really real here. And it's kind of unfortunate. This is kind of a habit of mine, and it's a personality trait. But I get really immersed into games or into whatever I focus on, and I was heavily focused on Dota 2 for a long while. But there came a time where I couldn't take it anymore. There was too many trolls, and I knew that I couldn't compete at the top level. For those who played Dota 2, I was at around 5,500 or 5,500 MMR, and I was trying my ass off to get to the 6K mark, but I couldn't, and so I decided to quit.
Well, I
Uh,
don't even know what Dota 2 is, so you're talking Greek to me, but I'm sure a lot of people out there probably know.
yeah, it's just like a MOBA game. It's like a 5-on-5 game, but once I decided to quit there, I just needed something to fill up my time, and then Clash of Clans was the answer.
Nice. Yeah, that's sort of how I was with a different game, but just sort of that was the end of that road, and Clash just fell onto my iPad somehow. I really don't remember how, and then went from there. So that's cool. Another one from Mr. Robin Good. With a mini named Zerg Rush, I assume you have played SC2. If so, how good were you, and what other games have you played extensively? So you've already answered one of those, but go ahead.
Yeah, so Zerg Rush was an account that my brother made. I inherited that account at Town Hall 8. With that being said, both of us did play StarCraft and StarCraft 2. StarCraft 1 I played competitively. This is way back when I was in middle school, man. So it was a long time ago and I was young. I played that game competitively as well. I've participated in a few stars like smaller tournaments, won a couple hundreds, like probably a couple hundred, maybe to $1,000, just smaller tournaments on StarCraft. So yeah, I did play StarCraft.
So StarCraft, Dota, what anything else that you really got into pretty deep?
CS 1.6, way back in the Cal League days. I was playing in Cal League. I never got to the CPL, which is like the pinnacle of CS 1.6 tournaments, but I did play in Cal M/Cal P.
So you've been a gamer, pretty hardcore gamer for a while now.
Yeah, I've been a nerd my entire life. I'm still a nerd. I'm very proud of it.
No, I guess we all are to some degree, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, moving on. Callbrid says Rex. Let's see, he sort of already answered this question, but what introduced you to Clash of Clans? We know that, but why do you think it has been so successful? The game Clash of Clans. What about it do you think is it's huge right now? Why is that?
Well, I think the social aspect is probably the most dominant. Like people like to gravitate towards games where they're able to socialize with one another. And I think Supercell does an amazing job to pull you in with the freemium style of game where they bring it in. Um, it's a free to play game, so it attracts everyone. But then once you get to a competitive status, you got to put like you start paying for it. And a lot of people are very competitive. Like if you just see all the different war clans out there, I think so. It's a great revenue model,
Yeah,
but I
definitely.
think the social aspect of the game is what really pulls everyone in because, you know, if it wasn't for all the members at OneHive, I would have quit a long time ago.
Sure, yeah. Well, and that sort of segues into Colbert's next question is how did you become part of OneHive? Did you find it on Global in the forums? Did you just how did you come to be a OneHive member?
Yeah, so again, going back to my brother was the first person to join OneHive. I have no idea how he found it, but before wars were starting, I was a hardcore farmer. I was in this other just kind of trophy slash farm clan, and the war was introduced. That trophy farm clan was only decided to only war once a week, and the wars was really interesting to me, and that's where it kind of peaked um, my interest for the piqued my excitement, and so I asked my brother where he was at, and he said one hive, and he said there's a lot of good raiders, so I gave it a try, and then I'm not sure the exact war, but I think it was war like 15 is when I joined one hive officially.
Nice. And just for me, I'll throw a question in there of my own. Why did Zerd leave the game? Did he just get burnt out? Didn't like it anymore? Wasn't as competitive? What was his reason for leaving?
Uh, he he's not as nerdy as I am, and it was summertime, and so when summer
Yeah.
rolled around, he really wanted to like hit up the beach and wanted to go out with
Right.
his friends and go out like party it up. So he didn't want to adopt the hardcore war style, and so he said he's planning on quitting, and he I asked him if he wanted to take over the accounts again because I'm quitting the game, and he said no. He's pretty happy with the decision he made.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And I was just curious. Actually, he must have left either right around the time I joined OneHive or right before because I don't really remember him being his own account, his own player. So I probably just missed him.
Yeah, it was a while ago. He was a Town Hall 8. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he doesn't even know anything about Town Hall 9 and 10.
Right. All right. Well, moving on. Smasher Ray. What is the highlight of your Clash career? Probably a tough question, but good one.
Yeah, that's a toughie. I don't know if I can say there is a highlight because just there's a lot of really good points where I mean there when I hit 1 billion gold grab, I was pretty happy with myself.
Yeah.
Um, but I was also evidently pretty burnt out, so I'm not sure if that really accounts for a highlight, but uh I think everyone once they get their first 3 star, that's a pretty big highlight.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I remember after the update when we were scrambling to try to find out how to 3-star bases. I can still remember the attack. It was one that Firelord Jono actually put on his channel in a war, and it was like this. It was a crap attack actually, but at the time I thought it was the most amazing attack that anyone had ever done in Clash of Clans. Sort of a strange holo. Uh, and got the 3-star. And I remember that feeling. So I'm sure there's some probably attacks like that for you that you just just amazing, and you felt great about it.
Uh, yeah, so I can't really say. I can't remember any attack specifically because I mean, you always, for me at least, you always tried to plan for 3 star. I guess
Right.
one of the more recent highlights is, and no one is gonna know this, and we're gonna talk. I plan to talk about this a little bit further, but when I was started learning Lilunian attacks from Clash with Predator, there were literally I cooked up Lalunian armies literally 100 times, and I failed on them. Just in the normal multiplayer matchmaking,
Yeah.
like because I knew nothing about loon pathing. Loon pathing and hog pathing are slightly differently, and so um, after that, and then all the fails in war. But that first attack that I succeeded and got that 3 star, I think that was a pretty big highlight.
Nice, nice. So it was actually in a multiplayer, not in a clan war, but just a regular searching for a base.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, Ethom96 asked, and you sort of already answered this, but you can touch on it more if you want to. What kind of player were you before the Clan War update? Did OneHive exist before the Clan War update? How did the idea of being a hardcore Clan War come up? Some of these you might not know the answer to. And since you're one of the best Town Hall 10 attackers I've seen, what is needed to achieve that? So several questions in that one, but go ahead.
Yeah. So one hive did not exist when Clan Wars first started. If you watch the history of One Hive, you get a brief glimpse on how One Hive came about. It was a couple of guys that got together um, that left their past clan because their past clan wasn't as hardcore, and so they just decided to branch off of it and build a new war clan. So that's how One Hive came about. But as for me, I was just a hardcore farmer. I was always on the hero grind, and I was always on the wall grind, and so
Did you not do any trophy pushing at all back in the day?
no trophy pushing whatsoever.
Cool.
I mean, we are. I did in that past clan that I was mentioning. We did have a trophy push, and I pushed up to masters, and I thought that was quite an accomplishment. But that's when I was very naive. I didn't know
Right.
anything about the game. I didn't know you can just town hall snipe all the way up to masters. So that was an accomplishment for me, all in itself. But yeah, I was just a hardcore farmer.
Nice. All right. And the last question he says, since you're one of the best Town Hall 10 attackers he's seen, what is needed to achieve that in your opinion?
I think persistence and very strategic mindset. It's really difficult to look at a Town Hall 10. I mean, people every time you watch a replay on YouTube or anytime you watch a replay of a failure, uh, like when you see a 0 star, 1 star, you have to really analyze what went wrong and why it went wrong. And I think a lot of people fail to do that. And then you also have to analyze what went right in all the successful replays. And that's what I really like to do. And so I'll spend like hours on end just browsing on YouTube and watching replays and seeing why things were moved and paths and what made raids successful.
Yeah, I would say it's probably true because you, of all people, when you were active in GroupMe, when you were still playing a lot, would post just videos from all over YouTube. I've never even heard of the people that posted them, and you're coming up with these attacks and posting them in there so everybody can see. And I don't even know how you found all that crap, but you did a good job digging it up for sure.
Yeah, I think you just, like I said, I try to immerse myself into the game and try to find out all I can on the mechanics and how everything works.
Well, you did a good job of it. Mathematica 2, I'm assuming this comes from Mathematica. How did you come up with the idea to use a golem to kill the queen, completely change the game?
Okay, so this was a long time ago when the giant bomb buff, like pre-giant bomb buff, like everyone was hogging, and back then I was just a regular 3 star guy, you know. I mean, everyone was 3 starring, but when the hero change and the giant bomb change, I knew the most significant thing was that the archer queen was killing off too many hogs during a raid, and then by the end of it, just the hogs weren't surviving; they were just thinning out, and so uh, I didn't even think of the golem at first. I pushed everyone in OneHive to use witches in their clan castle, wherever the queen was, and so the skeletons would absorb all the queen fire.
Yeah, we used to call it the queen trick. I remember that. You say use the queen
Yeah,
trick. It was, just coming in trying to use the skeletons to tank for the queen while some things got in there and killed it.
Yeah, and then people started protecting their queens more, and then the witches weren't working as effectively. And I was like, you know what? What else can we use? And I saw a video on YouTube of a Chinese guy three-starring a Town Hall 10. This is way back before, like way back before anything. So I was just so amazed, and I was like,
Probably before Lava Hounds.
yeah, way before lava hounds were introduced, way before this is like right after the bomb
Right.
buff. So I was just amazed. I'm like, how can this guy three-star um with hogs on a Town Hall 10? I mean, that like most people can't even hog now as a Town Hall
Mm.
10. I can't. Like I have difficulties hogging Town Hall 10s, but this guy was able to do it, and he took a golem. And so I was like, wow, this that's so much more effective. So I did not come up with the strat. I know you give me a lot of credit for it. I just transitioned from going from witches to golems.
Well, yeah, I do give you credit for it, and maybe I'm not saying you was the first person on the planet to do it, but I know that you are the one that taught us to do it, and you are definitely where it became popular because from us, plans like Reddit Troopers and stuff started putting it on there, and it just became the standard. So I think Mathematica is right. It did change the game, and had you not brought that to us, it wouldn't have happened, or it wouldn't have spread like it did, at least not as quickly. And it was brilliant. It really was. It did change every attack style for the most part. I mean, all the way through to La Lunion, just what you do now. And it was a good job spotting that was what was destroying raids. Because I remember a lot of times we would try to do hog steal, and it was just sort of a little bit of luck whether the hogs made it through the queen and got to the other side in time and had enough hogs left over to take her out. So it was big.
Yeah, and the game is continually evolving. I mean, if you backtrack on the history of OneHive and how our raids progressed, we went from using witches to kill the enemy queen, and then we transitioned into P.E.K.K.A.s, and then we also used golems. Because man, I remember wars where we were using P.E.K.K.A.s as the
Yeah.
queen killer, depending on where the AQ was positioned.
Oh
So
yeah, exposed queen. I remember when I did the first, I think how to hog beat, or maybe it was a base breakdown. I can't remember, but we were talking about it. And if that queen was right there behind one wall, we all used Max Pekkas to take her out, and had some success with it, but obviously not as efficient as putting that golem out there and then just letting your queen just do work and the king take the queen out, and the way, like you said, it's evolved too. So we went through the steps, the learning steps with it.
yeah, and I think the game will continue to evolve. I don't think we are at the strategies that are perfective. I know people are going to continue to innovate. I know there are going to be like so many more complicated strategies that come about.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, well, let's move on. Wiz says, "We wish you farewell, Rex. You've been a huge part of the One Hive community, and everything you've done for it is greatly appreciated." So I'm assuming this is someone from One Hive. Not sure who it is. But do you have any regrets after all the work and effort you put into Clash?
You know, that is a fantastic question.
I thought so too. That's why I picked it.
Uh, I guess, I mean, who does not have any regrets, you know?
Yeah.
Some of the bigger regrets that I do have are some of the kicks, the hard kicks that we've had to
Oh
make.
yeah. Yeah.
There are
And a
times
lot
where,
of times that fell on you for sure. So.
yeah, I had to play the bad guy role. But there are a lot of times where, you know, people kind of like me. I think we should have start with that, but one of the reasons that I'm quitting the game is I've just lost interest for it,
Yeah.
and it happens to people. People burn out, they start losing interest, and I'm just glad I identified it and I quit OneHive in time because what tended to happen in our clan, and I'm sure everyone have seen it in their clans, but people start losing interest for the game, but they remain inside the clan. They still opt to war, and they just stop trying, you know. And I didn't want to be that guy in OneHive, and so I thought it was uh, just the right time for me to step down and step away from the game because I was losing that interest. Um, and while we're on that topic, I'm gonna go ahead and address why I'm leaving the game, if
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so first and foremost, it is because of real life situations. There's a lot of stuff happening in my real life that um, I need to. I've delayed for so long OneHive, although I loved the clan, I loved leading it. It just took up too much of my time. Like I was on GroupMe 24/7. I was like on the on-call doctor for OneHive. Whenever a dramatic situation arose, I was there. Whenever someone had a question, I was on GroupMe trying to answer as quickly as possible. So I mean, I don't want to phrase it this way, but the only way I could think of it is I was a slave to OneHive.
Yeah.
And once it overwhelmed my life, there was a time I just really had an epiphany where I was like, you know what, I need to step away from the game and I need to move on. And luckily, I was able to do that recently because at this time I lost interest as well.
Right. Yeah, you tried a few times and it didn't take, and
Yeah,
this time it's I guess it's more final.
yeah. And to be completely transparent with all of you, I've made some poor decisions. I've prioritized OneHive over my real life relationships, my real life friendships. I've lost friends, um, and I've broken up with a girlfriend. As absurd as that may sound, that's happened to me because I prioritized the game and I prioritized my OneHive family over my real life. So yeah,
Well, and we know it did, and it showed, and you were on all the time, and you were the guy that was handling a lot of things. So we don't think we didn't appreciate it. I know it's it's one of those things. It's probably part of your personality, like you said, that you just get really into it and give it your all, which you did. And it was very much appreciated. I don't think OneHive would be where it's at today. I know I wouldn't be the player I am. The channel wouldn't exist. None of that would have happened without your influence. So it showed. It really did. You put a lot of work into it, and a lot came out of it.
yeah. And so to get back to that question, I guess that is probably the biggest thing that I regret. There were times where OneHive engaged into a hard war on a weekend where I had plans with friends and I
Right.
would cancel my plans with friends um, instead of so that I could focus on the war, help people with their strategies, be on TeamSpeak, and be present. Whereas I should have really just, let it go how it should have went. I don't know.
Yeah. No. I think everybody knows what you're saying, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough question. Good
Yeah,
question, dude.
that was a good one. I thought so too. All right. Mahfouz Saad. Sorry if I said that wrong. What is the best moment with Jake? You got any good moments you remember with me, man?
Man, I think, and I I want to let me preface with this. I mean it with all due respect,
Oh
but
God.
the best moment was when you stopped asking me questions. Because when
Oh God.
Jake first got into the clan, he was one of the most inquisitive
Yeah.
people. I'll use the word inquisitive. The inquisitive, like right before his attacks. Actually, I remember there were times where you would wait to attack so that you could get my advice, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah, but man, there were times where you were like, "Hey, what do you think of my plan?" You're always like, "What do you think of my plan?" And I thought that was, I mean, that's a great trait of a member. That's a great trait of a raider, um, and that's a great trait of a leader as well. But there was a time where everything just clicked, and you're like, "Boom, I
Yeah.
understand," and then you started thinking like, "Hey, what about doing this?" So I think that was a great moment with you.
Well, and I do know what you're talking about because not only I remember when I first joined, because I had, I've always told people like the applicants I want, the people I want, are the people that have that thirst for knowledge. They're going to be good someday. You can just tell they're not going to stop till they are. And I remember even after, like, not only would I bug you about my attacks, but I would listen to you helping other people and then ask you questions about that. Like, why are you telling them to do this? Why are you telling them to do that? Because I wanted to know I knew there was a reason for everything that you told someone to do. And I wanted to know what the reason was. Not just do this. I want to know, why are you telling them that? So I can imagine I was a little bit annoying at first.
Oh no, no, I wouldn't say you were annoying. You were definitely there was a lot of questions. I wouldn't say it was ever annoying.
That's a good answer to that question. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Nathan Hale. Regarding gaming in general, what are your plans for the future? Personally, I've never played a game quite like Clash of Clans. what might you try now that you're retiring from Clash? Are you just gonna not be playing any games lately? I know it's hard for a gamer as a gamer to just not play any games. Do you have any ones that you're playing now that you plan to play?
Uh, I do not have another game lined up. I know, and you're completely right. It is hard to not jump from one game to another,
Yeah,
but I need to refocus on my relationships, on my work,
yeah,
because that's been neglected for a little while. And
sure.
so that's where all my focus has been the last 3 weeks.
Well, do you think when you do pick up another game, will it be a mobile game? Will it be a PC game, a platform, Xbox, PlayStation, something like that? What do you think you'll drift to first?
I usually gravitate towards PC games. I have no idea how I picked up Clash of Clans,
Yeah.
because I'm always on the PC. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. All right. I got one more for you, Rex, and then we'll just visit a little bit more and you can say a few more things. I know there's another issue we need to talk about, and this one will segue into that. And you've sort of already answered this question, but it's a two-part question. Rex, I'm sorry, it's from Shiny Pikachu? Shiny Pikachu. What made you quit apart from the modding? And do you think Supercell will get rid of modding in the future?
so yeah, like I said before, the first and foremost thing is because of my real life. I would say a small part of me quitting is the modding, and that's kind of an indirect reason because the modding is so rampant, was slash is so rampant that um, it turned me off. There were times where I would have to like, times where OneHive would be like, you know what, we just lost the war. We could continue to lose against modders, or we can continue to stand by the fair play and really mean it, and still lose, and lose. Sorry, I kind of confused myself there, but like we could either start modding and try to win, or we could continue to maintain the fair play, the clan, and mean it and lose against modders, and we opted for the second.
Right. Yeah, there was actually a time it was discussed, and pretty much unanimously it was said, "Hey, this is what we don't want to play the game if it's going to be that way." It was a decision that we made. So.
Yep. And second part of the question, I do not think they will ever get rid of modding. I mean, the whole retire, this whole retirement with me is really awkward with timing because I think this is just a temporary fix, by the way. I think the modding developers will find a way. I don't know when, and I expect it to be very soon. To be completely honest, I think by next week there will be a way to mod. And it's not completely fixed right now because I'm finding out people are still modding, but they're not doing it on the first attack. They're doing it on the second attack because once you have attacked a base once, you can set up a farm base and just mod the hell out of that farm base. So the modding is not fixed.
Yeah. It's a band-aid and it's a nerf to modding. I'll say that, but I agree. It's not gone.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm in the top Ward Clans chat, and people are continually questioning each other, like, is this person modding? And even now, like even with the modding nerf or whatever you want to call it, they have to prove, like when they get a 3-star attack, like when someone pushes up a 3-star attack on a Town Hall 10, they say this is a first attack, so this hasn't been modded. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that the game has evolved into something like this, and so that really turned me off. So that was partial reason. I know there are some comments in the previous YouTube videos. It kind of made me reflect that I quit due to modding. And that's not completely true. I quit because of real life and losing interest.
Right. Well, and I guess probably the beginning of the end video, I might have indicated that was a part of it, and I think it is part of it. You're saying it was a small part of it, who might have questioned what your motivations are, but it is frustrating for someone, especially like you, think about the hours that you put into it, and then when someone cheats and can accomplish the same thing. It does to me. It sucks some of the fun out of it. So I can imagine that you feel some of that as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And while we're on this, since we've already broached this controversial topic, I'm going to go ahead and address it because I've never really had this opportunity to reach such a large audience, and I think this is a good time. But let's see. Well, let me preface this by saying that I don't want to transform this FAQ into a flame war. So just bear with me for this. I'm going to go into a little bit of monologue here.
Okay.
But for anyone who really knows me, and so the people at OneHive or the really well-known top war clan leaders that I communicate with often, they all know where I stand with modding. And for those who don't know where I stand, I've always been against it. I've never modded, and being the competitive person that I am, and I've admitted before, there have been times where I've failed numerous raids. I fail all the time. In fact, I'm just lucky Jake doesn't show them, but I fail more than 50% of my raids. I'm probably closer to like a 75 to 80% failure rate. I have 2 accounts, and Jake shows the 3-star attacks that I have, but there are many wars where, like, you can go back when I was in OneHive and you can see all the different wars where we did not even get a single 3-star. Those are all attempts that I've had on 3 stars, and I failed because, we've all failed as a clan, but that just goes to show that I failed a lot. I fail very, very often. Anyways, when you get foiled by like an unexpected trap or like a Tesla in the corner, and you're a fair play person, or like something different in the CC that you expect pops up, it really tempts you, like as a fair play member, to start modding. And I've questioned, and I'm sure everyone has, to, you know what, why don't I just start modding and just be like the rest of the people? But it's against my personal values not to mod, and so I've never downloaded a mod. I don't even know how to mod. I don't even know how to install it. And the people that I speak to who do mod, I'm always asking them questions and what to look out for in my clanmates to see what and how modders think, because I don't want to get too heavily into this, but let's say that I kind of changed my perspective on modding. And let me split this up into 2 different sections: the pre-TRL CH, the red line clash heads ambush, and then the post ambush. But pre ambush days, me, you, and the rest of OneHive try to indoctrinate like the whole anti-mod status and the stance that everyone should take. And at the time, maybe we were a bit naive, maybe we were a bit blind, and maybe we were just a little bit stubborn to see how rampant it was. But, and I don't want to say it was the TR event that really opened my eyes, but that's the biggest war that happened during the time that really opened my eyes. But the TRL war really showed, not the TRL war short, but after the TRL war, it really showed me how many modders there are everywhere, like in all war clans, and maybe even a lot of casual clans. Yeah. And so I'm not saying that anyone from TRL was modding. I'm sure there are modders on both sides, and I'm sure to this day there might be modders in OneHive. I don't know who. I don't know how to identify it, but I know just in myself and all the close people that I've warred with, they don't mod, and that's all that matters. Like anytime someone accuses me of modding, I take that as a compliment more than anything, because it just goes to show that I really put my thinking and put my critical thinking cap on and really analyze the base well.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, I think the way you worded it, naive, was a good way to put it. Before we started commingling, we used to be pretty shut off from the war community, really secretive, things like that. And we started branching out, communicating with more people, talking about setting up wars and the group me chats that got set up and the TRL war and all that. And the more we commingled, I think you're right. We were extremely naive at how rampant it was, and the fact that we, I guess, maybe thought we were preaching and teaching to fair play people when probably it's about half and half. I mean, honestly. The modders were coming. They were learning and just simply using it in their cheats. And I think that, that was, again, around the same time after that, when I started thinking about it and did the beginning of the end video, because I was naive to it and I didn't realize it for a long time.
Yeah. And so, like, the post-ambush and how I stand now, I accept and understand why modders do what they do, because, it's like a different mindset for them. I don't agree with it. I can understand it, but again, it does not align with my values, and I don't think it's right for me or the rest of OneHive to alienate them like we did. And I have apologized to Gnarl when we called him out. We posted pictures of his chat and private chats, and I feel very bad for doing what I did then. I don't think that was right, and I don't think the whole Flame Wars is right, because it's really pointless, Yeah. I don't know what we're trying to prove out of it. I don't know if it's because I don't know. I guess you can say I've gotten soft. I don't know if it's that. I just don't think we're putting the energy in the right way.
Well, I know what you're saying, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and everybody gets to do the things that they want to do in the game. And if that's cheating, I guess that's on them. I think, like you said, and like I'm like you. I'm not gonna do it. I don't like it. I don't support it. I think it hurts the game a lot more than it helps it. There's the argument that it helps innovation and all that. While you can't argue against that. I mean, it's a numbers game. If you can only attack twice every other day, or you can attack 600 times in those 2 days if you really wanted to, there's no question more innovation comes from that. I just would just assume not have that innovation, and it'd be non-existent. But, to each their own, I suppose.
Yeah, and I agree. And one thing I do want to elaborate on is we have, as many of you know, we have this top war clan chat for the leaders. That it's not just for the leaders; it's pretty much a lot of different members from every different top. Well, they're not even the top. It's the most well-known English-speaking mixed clans. Let's just put it that way. And there's also a couple members from ITD that are in that channel. But we all share ideas. We all share raids. We discuss a lot. There's a lot of trolling and flaming going on, but a lot of good things come from that channel as well. A lot of strategies. We discuss matchups, but like you and I were saying, OneHive went over our crosswords where we had to decide to be a fair play clan or not, and we are, like you said, unanimously agreed that we wanted to be fair play. And I think the only thing OneHive can do, and any fair play clan that wants to really mean fair play, is the difference is when we identify people that have bots or mods, we remove them from the clan.
Right.
I'm not going to say any specific names, but one of my favorite clashers, and he's such an amazing person. He was recommended to use mods in his previous clan for farming purposes only. And when he got into OneHive, and we didn't know about it, but once we got a hold of that information, I had to speak to him, and he understood. I don't think he ever modded in the raids in OneHive, but when OneHive means no fair play and no modding, we really mean it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I won't say a lot of clans, but some clans, they say they're fair play, but what do you do with the information when you get it? I guess is the thing. Or what do you do when you see suspicious activity. And like you said, we've had to do it against guys that we don't even think were actually cheating at the time, but were presented with information that they were. And 100% means 100%. It doesn't mean 99%. It doesn't mean most of the time, or as long as you're not doing it lately. And it is hard. And like you said, we've had to have some hard decisions, and it's draining, and it's a hard fight that we fought. And I know I know how you, when you say that you've sort of changed your opinion and maybe our efforts weren't put in the right direction. I know what you mean, because it's at times it almost feels like a witch hunt, and it's not. But we just want to be, I guess, as straight up as we can. I don't know. It's a lot of people probably don't understand it.
Yeah. And then the last 2 months, I've seen players go from clean to mod. And I guess one of the tragedies that I do see is, and maybe this is just something I'm not even completely sure, but this is just like a hypothesis that I have, but modders are very quick to judge others and make accusations against others who mod. They kind of reflect modding on others because they are modders. And once you start modding, it's really hard to see the way people think when they're fair play. And it goes the other way as well. I think non-modders, they are very naive and they think everyone else is clean. And when they see attack, they think it's clean. So
yeah, I agree. I think it's and it's sad that we even have to, this is a big part of the game, but it is. But let's don't end on a sad note. Let's don't end on a bad note.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, I do want to make one more comment, and it's something I'm very. When the EWCA first came about, they wanted to. They were created because there was a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of fair play clans.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it more and more nowadays. But I agree with the ECA idea, or what Moskri said to me. He said there are a lot of fair play clans that claim fair play and they don't. Yeah. They start modding. And it goes the same way. And if I go down and zero in on individuals, I have so much more respect for modders who are public about it. They accept that they mod, and they are very open about it. They know why they're playing the game and they enjoy it. And they're not being a hypocrite. And that's better than those who continue to deny it regardless of the amount of proof that there is against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. If that's the way you're going to play the game, own it, and obviously from you and from me, you'll have more respect.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much. It's stigmatized because of the nature of the game and how it just came about. But you know what? If I was modding, I would get completely out about it. I would just be like, you know what? There's just no reason for me to lie. I mod. I enjoy the game. I can get 3 stars because of it.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think, and I would agree that there is a huge section of modders that are closet modders. They don't, they want to keep it a secret. They want to claim fair play, but in reality, they are not.
Yeah, and those are the people that really taint it. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. I do want to ask you a question, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe I'll answer this as well, but as a raider, where do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being a beginner and 10 being completely an amazing raider.
Maybe a 6.5, 7 on a good day. I don't know, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy question to ask myself.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard, but I have days where I feel like I've came pretty far and I do some really nice attacks, but then I have days where I think, man, I have no business, teaching anybody anything. So it's tough.
Yeah.
What about you? What would you say?
I think you and the YouTube community and my fan base, they give me a lot more credit than I'm worth. I also agree. I think I'm like a seven. I want to rate myself a seven, where if five was like an average player, I'm slightly better than the average. I'm nowhere near amazing. Like I said, I fail a lot of raids, but um, I think the reason why I'm a little bit better than average is because I put in all the work.
Yeah. Well, I would rate you higher than that, but I know what you're saying. Everybody, I don't know. I don't know how people. Maybe you guys in the comments can rate yourselves. Let us know what you guys think you are, because it's a tough question to ask yourself, really.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, well that's cool, man. I want you to know, and I'm gonna take this opportunity just to tell you directly, and so that everybody can hear it. No question about it. You have influenced my Clash of Clans playing career, whatever you want to call it, more than anyone else by a great margin. Like you mentioned on when I first came to OneHive, I was very green, didn't know anything, and you were the guy that taught me all the basics, all the finer, more technical stuff, and basically until you left, you were still teaching me stuff. So, the videos that we did together are some of the most popular ones. People loved it. I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss playing with you, visiting with you. Hopefully you'll stick around, group me something, stop by because you became a friend, and I think a lot of people probably feel that way. So I really want you to know that it's been neat getting to know you, playing with you, and just learning. Because you are a great Clash of Clans player, one of the best I've ever played with, if not the best. So I appreciate it, man.
Oh man, thank you for those kind words. You're tearing me up here. um, yeah, it's been awesome, man. I want to thank everyone in One Hive who's been there, past, present, and who will be there in the future. Just go ahead and continue to represent the great name. It's been, like I said, it's been an amazing social experiment for me to be with everyone at One Hive. And I mean, the stuff that we've gone through in chat is just,
Oh yeah.
and there have been really like there are so many little treasures that I could show the world about you
Let's
and
don't.
the rest, but I'm not going to. It's just too bad.
Oh god. Yeah, we've had some good times, no question. And you mentioned it, the name that OneHive is, and it is I feel like a pretty respected name, and that's because of people like you, Nemo, King Beef, Aiden, Milanese. I know I'm forgetting people, Scarecrow, all those guys that put in so much time and effort to it. On the early days when no one knew what it was going to become, but you guys just kept at it and taught. I don't even know how many people y'all taught coming through that have moved on, that have stayed, countless people. So
Yeah, those old school Hall of Famers, like these are way more credit than I do. They just really built an amazing community and a really great home. And I mean, I wish they do see and watch this video, and, and I would like to thank them as well. But the other people that I do want to thank are the top war community, man. You guys are
yeah,
continuing to innovate. You guys are excuse me, you're continually challenging us as war raiders. So I think it's an amazing thing. Like raiding 50 wars ago was so much easier than it is
oh
now, and like
god,
bases are
yeah.
just so ridiculously hard and well designed. So I just want to thank everyone for making everyone else get better.
I agree. I think the war community is as strong and as active and as competitive as it's ever been, a year into it now. So there's no question, a lot of great guys out there, and like you said in the chats and stuff, everybody's getting to know each other, and it's really, to me, it's a closer knit community, and there's not as much animosity. I know there's always flaming and trolling and stuff like that, but pretty tight knit community actually. Everybody's got friends in other clans, and so it's a fun time right now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, man, anything else to say before we wrap this up?
No, I think that is all. I mean, I want to thank you again for doing this interview with me, and I want to thank all my fans, everyone who's saying goodbye, everyone who's asked me questions, everyone who's really pushed me to become a better person and become a better raider. So thank you all.
Man, you definitely have a lot of fans, and we all do appreciate everything that you've done for us in the game. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, it's sad, it sucks that Rex is moving on, but, you know, we'll all move on one day. This game is not going to be something we do forever, so just Rex's time. I know you guys enjoyed the video. Had some awesome attacks rolling in the background, so I hope you enjoyed that. Till next time, guys. Jake and Rex from OneHive reminding you guys to suck less.